Hi, Candace, welcome.
Hello, thank you.
So, Candace, you're from the egg donor and surrogacy agency Extraordinary Conceptions, and you're going to be talking to me today about egg donation. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me.
Of course, very excited.
Cute. So, Candace, can you start by telling us about Extraordinary Conceptions?
Absolutely. So, Extraordinary Conceptions is an international egg donation agency, and we were established in 2005 by Mario and Stephanie Caballero. Something that I think everyone can kind of relate to that is going through the struggle. It'll touch to how we were created was Mario and Stephanie going through their own IVF struggle, multiple IVF cycles, and they kind of came to the agreement that a surrogate was going to be the only way that they were going to have their baby. So they found their surrogate, and they have twins going in college now, which
oh wow,
yeah,
there you go.
And so kind of through that process, they realized there's so many people out there that need guidance and help with this. Back then, there was not a lot of information. So they struggled with that. Now I feel like there's so much information. People need a little more help through that process. So that is how Extraordinary Conceptions came to be.
Fantastic. And Cadence, you obviously work at the agency. Can you tell us about your role and, what you enjoy about your role?
Yeah, so even though I was an egg donor, I am actually the surrogacy department director. So I came in it's probably 8 years now. It seems like just yesterday.
Yeah.
But there's so much I love about the job, and probably first and foremost are all the babies. We get so many intended parents that we have done this journey with, and they send us pictures throughout the child's life, and it's so amazing to see. So that would probably be the number one thing that I love.
Yeah, well, I personally think that the work that you guys do is absolutely amazing. My son, our son Spencer, was actually born in 2019 through gestational surrogacy, and he was born in Utah in the US. So we're from Melbourne, Australia, but we traveled over to the US, and this was after probably about a 6-year infertility journey. And so if it wasn't for gestational surrogacy as an option, if it wasn't for, our beautiful gestational surrogate Leah, and if it wasn't for agencies like you guys and the amazing work you do, Spencer wouldn't be here today. And to be honest, I doubt we'd have a family. So, I think that the work you guys do is life-changing. It's just absolutely amazing.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. That's amazing. I didn't know you had a personal connection. So that's really heartwarming.
Yeah. No, it was a long infertility journey, but I basically have a very thin endometrium lining, so it was really difficult to carry, and we kept having failed cycles and a lot of cancelled cycles because my lining just would never sort of get to the minimum requirement. And then, a few miscarriages, and then we got a second opinion, and our specialist said, I really recommend gestational surrogacy. And then that's how we got started. And it was just amazing, and an amazing experience as well to go through. So I think
you definitely relate to Mario and Stephanie's
as
well.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. So, Candace, today we're talking about egg donation. And as you mentioned, you have a personal experience with egg donation. Can you start by telling us what egg donation is? And then can you share your personal experience with us?
Of course. So, real simple form in regards to egg donation is when a woman decides that she wants to help another potential parent have a child, and they need donated eggs. That woman decides to go through an IVF cycle and do the egg retrieval and donate those eggs retrieved to that intended parent. My personal experience has been amazing. I have done 6 donations total.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
Yeah. 2 of which are open donations. So now that I have my own children, they get to see their half siblings around the world. We keep in touch. So that's, really amazing. We went not last year, the year before, and all kind of had like a family reunion and got to meet everybody and meet my new baby. So that's kind of been my personal journey with it. And that was only two cycles out of the 6 that were open donations.
Whereabouts was because you mentioned going over, like overseas, was it, or?
So yes, so I have one in France and then twins in the UK.
Oh, there you go. Wow, yeah. Amazing. And I mean, obviously it's a big decision to make. How did you come to the decision to be an egg donor, and why did you choose to be an egg donor?
So prior to being here at Extraordinary Conceptions, I was actually an administrator over at an IVF clinic. So we had the patient interaction. I talked to the patients a lot. I saw their struggles. So after a while, I would see that they would have their failed IVF cycle, but then they went to donor egg and they had a successful delivery and they have their amazing baby, and just the change of their demeanor, just like their life's complete kind of. So I was like, okay, this is something I definitely want to do and help somebody who's going through those same struggles. So that's kind of how I got into it.
That's amazing. I mean, it just, and it must just feel so rewarding, because it's, you're helping people have a family, and it's, like I said before, it's, in my mind, it's absolutely life-changing. Like, what an extraordinary thing to do. It must feel great.
Yeah, it's really neat experience.
So if I'm an intended parent and I want to consider egg donation, want to consider using donor eggs, can you talk us through, I suppose, the overall process? What are some of the key steps involved? How do people get started? And what can they expect from Extraordinary Conceptions?
Yeah, so first and foremost, registering on our database is going to be the best first step. There's no obligation to registering. You literally get to register and you have immediate access to view the egg donor and surrogate profiles.
Okay, and that's through your website, or?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. So you can kind of at your leisure, take a look at those profiles and see something or someone that perks your interest, and you're going to select that candidate. And the process for surrogacy and egg donation are very similar. So this can kind of account for both. You're going to select the candidate. We're going to check the availability just to make sure that they're available. And then we're going to submit the profile to your clinic. If you don't have a clinic yet, we can absolutely help with that. So not all intended parents have to come with a clinic already chosen.
Okay.
The clinic will review the profile and kind of approve her, and then the match is confirmed, and you're going to then move on from there. So those are kind of like the initial steps.
And I mean, it's probably how long's a piece of string, but what's kind of like some approximate time frame? So if I'm interested in egg donation, from when I kind of start to research it and express interest to when I could be potentially matched, is there any kind of time frames, or is it kind of case by case?
It is kind of case by case, but if you're looking for something very, very specific, it might take you a little longer to find that candidate. Yes. So the matching process might take longer, but I would say an average timeline, you could be looking at a month to 3 months if you're open.
Yep. Yeah. Fantastic. And are egg donors from like all around the world, by the way, or is it? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. And I suppose then on the other side of things, if I want to consider donating my eggs, what is the process? How do I get started? What can I expect from your agency?
Yeah. So there's, same thing kind of with surrogacy and egg donation. You're going to submit an application. You're going to kind of go through like a pre-qual to make sure that you fit within the requirements, both for egg donation and surrogacy. And then once you do that, you're up on our database, and intended parents can come and view your profile. And once you're chosen, you're going to go to medical screening. Once you go to medical screening and you're cleared, then that's kind of our thumbs up to go to the legal process. You're going to do your contracts and agreements. And then once you get legal clearance, you'll start medications and kind of the monitoring leading up to the egg retrieval, or for surrogate, the or the embryo transfer. And then you're doing recovery for the egg retrieval, or fingers crossed, you know, taking care of that baby after the embryo transfer.
Fantastic. And when you say medical clearance, like what does that involve? What kind of medical steps are involved in clearing someone to be a donor?
So you're going to do, you know, some initial blood work, some FDAs, STD panel, all of that has to come back clear and clean. You know, no recreational drug use, living just a healthy lifestyle overall. And your blood work, you know, as far as drugs should come back with that.
Yep, no, that makes complete sense. And I know we've touched on gestational surrogacy already, but can you just give us an overview of what gestational surrogacy is and, you know, the steps involved if an intended parent wants to explore gestational surrogacy? I know that you've mentioned it's very similar to egg donation, but if you can just talk us through that would be great.
Yeah, absolutely. So there are two types of surrogacies, and traditional and gestational. And we don't do traditional any longer. And that's when the woman carrying the baby is actually genetically related. We focus, and most people in the field focus on gestational surrogacy, where the woman carrying your baby has no genetic relationship. So you're implanting an embryo to the carrier. So, and once the transfer happens, you know, you have a couple weeks there to watch the blood work and hopefully have that blood work increase to show the positive pregnancy.
And I imagine you have patients from all around the world?
Yes, we are very, very international.
Yes.
I guess for Australia, international, but we also do a lot of domestic US in the States. So we do both, but we operate all over the world.
Yes, because that was certainly our experience, because surrogacy in Australia isn't very common, and you know, commercial surrogacy, for example, is illegal in Australia. So a lot of couples, or a lot of people, travel overseas to do surrogacy, which is, you know, how we ended up in the US, for example. So I imagine you would have, you know, quite a few different countries that would come your way.
Yes, we do. That's kind of our specialty, I feel like.
Yeah, fantastic. And because you're based in, I'm going to say San Diego, is that right?
It is. It's Carlsbad, but we're in and around San Diego.
Yeah, fantastic. Great. Well, I think before we finish up, Candace, I just wanted to see if there was any final thoughts or comments that you wanted to leave us with.
Yeah, I think in choosing an agency, choosing a donor, choosing a surrogate, it is such a personal experience that I really feel you need to find that place that you connect with, find that donor that you connect with. You know, it's not all about, you know, where she's located or some other things. It's really that connection, because you're going to be going through this journey with them, especially a surrogate, for such a long time.
Yeah, it's a long journey.
And then after, you know, and then if you want to, you keep in touch with them. So I don't know if you have that experience with yours.
Yeah, but we did, absolutely. And again, because surrogacy isn't common in Australia, I didn't know what to expect really going into it. And, you know, I think that you're right. It's a long journey, and you create such a strong and special bond. I mean, you're going through this incredible life-changing experience that you become so close. And, you know, Spencer will be 2 in July, and we're still in, you know, regular contact with our gestational surrogate Leah, and, you know, we'll be in each other's lives forever. We actually had planned to go over to the US last year when he was 1 to visit, and then COVID threw
No.
everything out, obviously. So, but, you know, we absolutely in the next few years, you know, going to come back to the US and all, you know, meet up. And yeah, I think you're absolutely right. It's like, it's such a personal and amazing experience. And it's such a, you know, it can be a long journey, a lifetime journey, that rapport is so important. Like it's like, it's, yeah.
I mean, they become part of the family, and
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's a just connection, and not every egg donation is open, but at least from my personal experience with those, like they are part of my family. And same with surrogacy, they become part of the family for a lot of our intended parents.
Yeah, exactly. Couldn't agree more.
So take your time. That's my
Yes.
find the right agency, egg donor, surrogate, and you know, find the one that speaks to you, I guess.
Yeah.
Is my tidbit.
I couldn't agree more. And so if people are wanting to explore egg donation surrogacy, I suppose the best first step is to have a look on your website and then send you an email or give you a phone call and then go from there, or pop in an application if they want to start that way.
Yes, absolutely. We're all available. We're working from home right now, but we are working overtime right now with, a lot of intended parents and stuff because of the environment. So we're available, and we would love nothing more than to help anyone and everyone in their journey.
Fantastic. Amazing. Well, Candace, thank you so much for talking to me today. I've really enjoyed our chat. It's been hugely informative and valuable, and I think it will be really helpful for anyone who wants to learn more about egg donation and gestational surrogacy. So thank you again for your time.
Thank you so much for having me.
Great, thank you. All right, enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you, you too.
Bye.